So Aidan, you wanted, obviously we just talked about the north door. The south door is particularly important, and when we first came it was just lost really, wasn't it?
It was stuck behind a curtain. Yeah. Nobody really used it. But because it's on the south side, it's where most of the light comes into the west end of the church from. The windows on this side are quite heavily stained glass. So having the opportunity to have a clear glazed opening was really important. And I think the new outer glass doors which allow the inner doors to be propped open just means that we can get light into the west end of the church, and that's a huge, huge step forward. Little details like stepping down into the mat well, which Alex's trademark, as I've learned, the recycled tyres which make this, is a really nice little bit of story and narrative that goes with it. The image on it is Piero della Francesca's Baptism of Christ, which you'll find in the National Gallery, but without the figures, so that you actually get the landscape, which is empty, and it's about our journey into that landscape and how we find within ourselves what fills that as the Christ figure. And with the light flooding through it, I think that works beautifully. And that journey of light works from outside daylight through the glass into the west end to the halo that pulls everything together, and it continues onto the north side of the church and out to the community beyond. So there's this sort of lovely north to south, south to north axis that cuts through it from journeys of light, and then there's the east to west, the journey to the spiritual journey that works the other way, and they cross over here under the halo, which pulls it all together.
Yeah, and you did. I mean, it's thanks to you, Aidan, this artwork. I mean, it was
it's somebody else drew it rather beautifully.
I know, but it was your inspiration. You did
it was my little sketch. But as with everything, you can sketch something, but somebody's made it beautiful and put the text into it. And similarly, on the north door, there's a piece of sketch and text that's become part of that piece over there. And these are all the details that make projects just wow and fizz, because they're full of ideas, and everybody can find their idea that they've had a little bit of a part in.
And I think what's good about it is that actually it's a very powerful image, but it's actually done with a vinyl.
Yeah.
So it's and actually it could, if it so wanted to, in a year's, 5 years, 10 years time, it could be taken off. You could have a new artwork put on. The glass isn't affected. No. So actually I really like it as a creative way of engaging,
It's a really good point actually, because as you say, in 10 years time, comparatively cheaply, you can reinvent that with a new art piece. And if there's a millennium or whatever, there's something you want to celebrate, you've got some vehicles here which allow you to do that comparatively easily, but with real impact. So great feature, and it works so well in this part of the space.
Ella, who did this from Illuminated Calligraphy, she drew it. It's in an Illustrator file that just gets sent to a sign writer. They print it off. They come and apply. It's so easy to do, but so powerful within the space.
It is, and it's one of those little things you can play really nice tricks with when you have to do it. Yeah. And so often you'll just see the boring dots. Yeah. But the world's your oyster.
Go crazy.
Message for clients: use your designers. That's what you're paying them for. Yeah. To come up with a clever idea and actually tell those stories better.
And I think from a designer's point of view, though, you don't want to oversell. You're responsible for so many aspects. But
this is a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And actually, this is where you enjoy yourself. And it's one of those ones where I'll say to the youngsters in the office, come up with an idea for, and it's a bit of responsibility they take, and they say, hey, there's a bit of my work in this project. Yeah. And it's a nice way that you kind of you spread those influences around the team who are working on designs, but also in the team who are commissioning it, and that they can have their inputs into that as well. It's a nice little low bar way into the project for people to be involved with.
But ultimately as well, like with any finishes, has a huge impact, can have a very dramatic impact on the space. So interesting in many ways.